Hey everyone, James Lynch here doing a quick reaction video to the news that UFC 317 on June 28th finally has its main event, and it's going to be Ilia Topuria against Charles Oliveira. Now here's the thing, the time I'm recording this isn't public knowledge yet. Dana White will announce this later today. Go look at his Instagram at the time this is posted. You'll see that Dana's already talked about this, so this fight's done. The only thing I don't know right now if it's going to be for a vacant or interim title. My understanding is it's going to be a vacant title, that Islam is vacating his title to move up. We'll wait to see on that, but it doesn't matter because we can still talk about the matchup. And before I dig into this fight with him and Oliveira, I wanted to mention a couple other fights that were added to UFC 317 as well. We already know about Paulo Costa and Kopylov. The co-main event for this card is going to be Alexander Pantoja against Kai Kara France. Kind of a letdown. I know that's going to be a fun fight, but not really a big name fight that you would want to see in International Fight Week. We can talk about that a little bit later. The other fight they added, which was rumored, has been added to this card, is going to be Beneil Dariush and Renato Moicano. And then we've also got Tracy Cortez and Viviane Araújo. So we'll see actually what Tapology has listed right now. I'm not entirely sure which fights have been rumored even on here as of now. They already have Araújo and Cortez, but they do not have the Moicano and Dariush fight. So that helps a bit. Getting Dariush and Moicano on this card, that adds a bit more name value to this card. And there's a couple fun matchups here, right? You got Zell Huber on here. You got Jack Hermanson, Gregory Rodriguez. I love the Brandon Royval and Manel Kopp fight, and good to see Paulo Costa back in the mix as well. So look, I'll be honest, I'm glad that we're getting, Ilia and Charles as a second option as opposed to Ilia and Islam. This card does feel like it's lacking a little bit. Ariel Helwani speaking yesterday that they were trying to apparently put Ankalaev and Pereira again. Like, is Ankalaev is he the equivalent of taking the Plan B pill after, after intercourse? Because I think they keep going to him as the option, the backup option as much as they can when it comes to, needing to bail out a card here. So I just find it interesting. They keep contacting Pereira to come save these cards here. But yeah, good card, not great card. I mean, Topuria and Oliveira is going to be a great fight. Really looking forward to that. But I expected a bit more from this card just because it is the International Fight Week card. But let's get into, well, first we'll talk about Topuria and Oliveira. I'll give my quick thoughts on that. And then we'll also talk about just the other two fights I mentioned there. So quickly, tail of the tape here. Topuria, 28 years old, 5'7" with a 69-inch reach, taking on Charles Oliveira, who's 35, 5'10" with a 74-inch reach. So Oliveira going to be bigger, 3-inch height advantage, I believe 5-inch reach advantage, but he's also, 7 years older? My math's correct here. So Oliveira is going to be 36 and Topuria just turned 28 in January. So yeah, I believe that's 7-year age gap. So that is pretty significant here in this fight. So again, we know what Topuria has done, his body of work. I mean, this satisfies some of the fan base because a lot of people felt like Topuria needed to prove himself at lightweight before getting the shot. Even if it is a vacant title, he's still not fighting Islam. He's having to fight Charles. So I think in some degree, fans are getting what they want here. But the reason Topuria is even getting this fight is because, or title or not, is, he just beat Volkanovski. He knocked out Volkanovski and Holloway. I mean, name me two better back-to-back wins in UFC history. It's right up there. There might be someone else that I'm not thinking of, but those are two incredible wins. So very good there. And we always forget that he had the one lightweight fight against Jai Herbert, which actually didn't look so good in that fight. He ended up getting the finish in the second round, but if you remember, Jai Herbert actually put him in some trouble. That was, years ago, 3 years ago. So lots of things have changed since then between Topuria and that. Now Oliveira, I still see people saying, oh, he doesn't deserve it and all that because he beat Chandler. But listen, the reality is he's a former champion. He had a title defense when he was champion. He has some really good wins on the resume, finishes over Chandler, Poirier, Gaethje. Those are all good victories. Yes, he lost decisively to Islam, but he's gone 2-1 since the first fight, and that fight against Arman was close, right? So I think he deserves it as well. Like I said, this is the next best option if we weren't getting Topuria and Oliveira. As far as an early pick right now, I will do an early look preview on this card. I'm going to lean Topuria. My issue is Oliveira does get hit a lot. He's older. That damage, you can only take so much, and I think Topuria's power will translate at 155 like it has at 145, and I think at some point he will catch Oliveira. Now we forget that Topuria's got a pretty solid ground game, 8 wins by submission. That's actually kind of how he started his career, was as a sub guy, but then his boxing's come a long way too. So I just think that Topuria has more ways to win. You look at Oliveira in his last fight, he did beat Chandler decisively, but that Chandler, I think we all know, not really a contender anymore. He did lose to Arman here. And by the way, I know there's going to be people being like, why didn't Arman get the shot? Guys, did we forget what happened at UFC 311? Dana's not going to give Arman an opportunity like this. He will have to fight his way back up, which sucks. I don't agree with it. If I was doing the matchmaking, I would do Arman against Ilia, but That's not what we're getting right now. So again, Arman will have to fight someone else. We'll see how that all unfolds. But getting back to Oliveira quickly, good win over Dariush, but yeah, I don't know. I just don't think, I think Topuria will be able to go out there and finish him. Oliveira can certainly win this fight. I do see this as a fairly close fight, but I just think the power of Topuria is what's going to be the difference here. So I do see Topuria getting the finish, maybe in the third round, knocking out Oliveira, and then hopefully Islam comes back down and we still get this fight, because they really need to do this fight. This is just such a massive fight between two massive fan bases. We need to see Topuria and Oliveira happen. So again, early pick on that is going to be Ilia Topuria by knockout in the third round. Let's quickly talk about some of these other matchups. Oh, actually, before we do that, got to give credit to our guy Alvaro. He is someone that has been right about Topuria being on this card all along. Go follow him. I saw some people talking smack. Oh, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, whatever. Very much a legit journalist. So go follow him. I just wanted to mention that quickly in this video, because he's been right about Topuria being on this card all along. That's when I did videos on this. People are like, who is this guy? Well, he's very legit, because it turns out he was right about this. So got to point that out too. So yeah, what we're going to talk about. Oh yeah, let's talk about Dariush and Moicano. So Renato Moicano, I should have had this ready to go, guys, but I'm kind of getting this all ready. So you see, obviously, Moicano coming off that loss to Islam. Prior to that, a lot of really good wins. Benoit Saint Denis, Jalen Turner, Drew Dober. He's been on quite the roll. Tough to fight Islam on less than 48 hours notice. That's a tough one to do. Dariush, I don't think has fought since the loss to Arman. Yeah, so he hasn't fought since December of 2023, and he's also older here, 36. Not by much, though. Moicano, I think we forget, he is 35 years old. I'm leaning a bit Moicano here just because of the level of activity. Like, if you look at the last time Dariush fought, which, like I said, was in December of 2023, Moicano has fought he also had a grappling match. He's fought 4 times since then. That I think will, now granted, he's taken some damage in those fights, but I just worry a little bit about Dariush's chin. Moicano's got some issues too in that regard, but 10 wins by submission. He might be able to finish Dariush, but I just think he'll be a step ahead. I'm actually leaning more towards the decision in this fight, because I don't think Moicano, he's only got 2 wins by knockout. I don't think he'll knock out Beneil Dariush in this fight. So that's another thing to kind of consider here. Again, if Dariush was fighting like a Topuria or a Fiziev or someone like that, then maybe I'd lean a little bit more towards knockout, but I think this could end up going the distance. But fun veterans fight. I think this is a good fight for both guys, and a good fight with 2 good names on this card as well. So those are some of the fights that we got. Like I said, I'll be going to this event. I think it's a good event, just not a great event. Again, really excited for Topuria and Oliveira, two of the most exciting fighters in the UFC right now. It's a couple interesting matches, but like a Denitz and Tafa, Royval and Kopp's going to be violent. Looking forward to that one. They're going to obviously add some other fights to this card too, but I hope they beef this up a little bit. But this could have been such a better card, and I just think that, again, something I've talked about at length on this channel, I think they spread out their talent too much on certain cards. And keep an eye. I'm going to be doing a couple other videos coming up here too. I don't know when the UFC is going to announce these other fights that I'm going to talk about here shortly, but I'll have other videos on the channel talking about it. So some of those big fights that you're thinking of, they are being used on other cards. So we'll see what else they can add here. But like I said, I'm recording this May 13th. The event's June 28th, so we're getting close to almost a month before the event, and we're sort of figuring out what's going to happen here. So again, Oliveira, Topuria, I'm going Topuria in the main event. So I want to know what you guys think in the comment section below. Was this the fight to make? Were these the fights to add here? How would you rate UFC 317 right now as far as what we're seeing on paper? Again, cards can always surpass expectations. Look at UFC 315 we had last weekend. That was a great card. Let me know in the comments what you think, and what are some of your early picks on these fights? Let me know in the comments. Follow me on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, at Lynch on Sports. Also, like I said in this video, go look on my channel. I will have some other fight announcements too that I got some sort of heads up on. So I'll have some videos on that too once those goes public. Appreciate you watching. I'll talk to you guys soon, and thanks so much for watching.